G'day guys, today we're getting the turbo Barra tuned. Mighty 200 and the Patrol. Yeah, it's Matt Grafton. He's right here.
Yep.
Right, yeah, so I thought I might just sit down and just go through some stuff, what happened on the dyno and on the day. So got down there the morning, everything was going sweet. Just doing base runs to get the fuel right for the 4-bar reg stock injectors. Then we did a full pull and I put a photo in here. So I made that and did some more to get the fuel right, and the VCT, so the cams, they're not working properly, so I don't know why. So we're going to rip the valve cover off today as well and check. But on the 6th run we put a bit more boost into it, it was about 7 psi, and it was hauling ass. So, and it just sounded like a boost line popped off, and we had a look, a bit more depth, and couldn't find anything. And we thought the filter sucked in the airbox, because that happens sometimes, but it's got a K&N triangle, so they rarely do that. But I suggested we'll take the intake pipe off and just run straight turbo. It's not going through the snorkel, so there's no restriction. Did that, everything looks sweet, and then just out of spite, I reached over and grabbed the turbo, checked the shaft play, and the turbo was seized. So that was the end of the day. 6th run in, 3 hours in the dyno, and couldn't get it finished. So we're gonna have to go back down there. So this is the turbo here. So it actually, I can spin it now because I've taken it all apart and had a look. Because it's a floating bearing, and in the oil feed you got to have no restrictor at all. But ball bearing you have to have a restrictor. But I didn't realise the AN fitting I put in there had a restrictor in it, because I'd already taken the one out of the turbo. So I started the oil, we'll start the turbo full of oil really. And it grabbed the front of the housing and proper just fucked shit up. If you can see it now, I'll get a closer video. But it is a shame to go home with a broken turbo, and the car was running unreal, except for the cams. Like, it was retarded, so it was in the negatives, about $3,000. It should go in positives, and it wasn't till like 3.5. Then sometimes it wasn't, and sometimes it was. Like, it's something weird going on in the motor. Hopefully it's not the cams binding up. But I do have a high oil pressure issue, but we have drilled out the galleries and all that shit as well. But put all the shit aside, that turbo was $190 off eBay. I wasn't expecting it to last long. I knew it was going to shit the bed. So we went and brought really expensive turbo. So we've got a PSR 3582 high flow. Look at that, for a bloody turbo. And it is a ball bearing, so it will last forever, hopefully. but this turbo is gonna fly so much more air. It's gonna sound wicked. My brother's got one on his AU Falcon, and the dose is gonna be insane. Way better than the cheap China turbo. So today we're going to be slapping this on. So I will have to make a whole entire new dump setup and wastegate setup because it didn't work. So I didn't have that flexi flange in there, like that pipe, and the flanges, like the V bands, were fighting each other and was creating exhaust leak. And that's not ideal. So I've got all the parts in the back of the bus. So today we'll get this on, hopefully prime it, start it, and it is safe to run 7 PSI. I just can't abuse it. I go to limiter, but I can drive and actually feel the 190 odd horsepower. But the main bit is the torque. On 3 PSI, I made more torque than most modern diesels, and most diesels. So that's pretty insane to me. So hopefully we'll push about 13, 14 PSI out of this thing, about 400 horsepower. Hopefully it'll be well over 1,000 Newton meters torque. That's gonna be fucking pretty fun. So we'll slap this on. Shame about that, but all man plays twice, honestly. But oh well, shit happens, eh? So we'll dive into this. I'll get some more videos of that, and hopefully we'll get a run today and see if she sounds like. Right, excuse the messy shed. Rather than that bloody cruiser made a fucking mess. So this is a turbo, bloody mint, frothing it. So we're gonna have to rotate this housing a bit and the center housing, so the water comes in, it'll come up, then back down to the dump. That's just how it says in the specs in the manual. Always read your manuals for turbos, how to pre-start them, pre-oil them, everything. So we were taking these out because we're not using these. We've got banjo fittings, so that's your oil in and obviously oil out underneath. We're gonna have to rotate this up to 20 degrees off center, and we're gonna have to rotate this front housing down a bit so I can weld on a alloy 90, because everyone blows the boost hose out, so I'm welding alloy 90, so be way better. I just can't stop looking at it. Rightio, so you can see in there where it's grabbed it. And see the fin there has got that scallop in it. That should be all flush. So you can see the massive lip there where it's cut into it. Just completely fucked it. Anyway, got the new one on. Holy, that looks awesome. So I've just bolted it on. I've got a restrictor in it now for a ball bearing turbo, because that's what you need, because that one was a floater. Got the oil drain hose on, or the spout hose is there. Wastegate's just chilling here, so none of that's moving, but this whole dump setup is getting changed. So I'm gonna have to make it, see the gap difference. So 304 stainless, then V-bands for the wastegate, flexi pipe for the wastegate so it doesn't have exhaust leaks when it heats up, because the dump's going to heat up a lot quicker than the wastegate, because it's not going to be on gate a lot. That's the V-band for the back of the turbo, so we'll plonk onto that. I did buy this. It was going to go onto there like that, but I'm just going to have to keep that hose there and buy a couple of them just for spares when I bloody blow them off. That's for the wastegate, so it's going to come in the dump like that and come out from the wastegate. Another one of them, and a 3-inch scallop cut out 0.2 cents a bung that will be going into the dump. So that's the next step. So we'll take the southern off, take the heat wrap off halfway down, cut it, put it back in, then mock it all up, tack it in, then take it all out, weld it. Probably won't heat wrap it yet. Then I'll slap it on, get it going, get hot, putting all these lines back on. Might have to change some things, and then rip that valve cover off, see what's going on inside the motor. Oh yeah, so the turbo's in. I had to put the reference line in that because I was not drilling that housing. Got clearance everywhere. Back on over there. All the lines are on. So here's the wastegate, that flexi. It's going to nothing at the moment. New dump. So we're gonna undo all the coil packs, turn it over, get some oil pressure up. Then we'll start him for a couple of seconds, turn him off, check for leaks. Then we'll start him, let him warm up. Right, yeah, so I've just undone the oil return hose. So we're gonna crank it till oil comes out of there. And all the coil packs are unplugged, so it will not fire at all. Yeah, so we're gonna see if she starts. I'll switch his ear. Alright, so everything's back together. Turbo is just dumping at the ground at the moment, like you just there. So move the cruiser, we might take it for a drive. Rightio, so we're going for a drive now in the big bus. See what this new turbo can do. Trying to hit the FG at the moment. There is a clunking noise in the front end. I think it's that right hand side CV. Been having some trouble with it to bed into the hub itself. Well, that shouldn't matter. Doesn't go hard, but it sounds cool on gate too. That is loud. I like the screamer. Nice to change it in gears now. I'll put you up near the snorkel so you can hear how actually loud it is. So we're at 100 degrees, so she's hot. Well, operating temperature for a Barra. But I've got the thermos on now, so she'll bring back down. Rightio, so I got you up in the corner here. And Hopefully you can hear how loud that turbo is. Holy, gate sounds mint too. I like that, that's nice. Rightio, so that is the Screamer done. We'll go for a test drive, hopefully get some outside footage as well. Rightio, so that's the end of this episode. Got a fair bit done. New turbo sounds sick. External gate's sick too. Hopefully next episode will be at the tuners again. Don't know when that's going to be. He's pretty booked out for a while. I'll plumb the wastegate back into the dump and that, but that'll be start of the next episode maybe. Other than that, the big bus is ready to go for round 2 at the dyno. Hopefully we reach that 400 mark. Make sure you like and subscribe. Helped me out a lot. It helps out with the build too.